Imagine waking up one day surrounded by everything money can buy. A massive house, luxury cars, limitless travel, overflowing bank accounts, and still feeling a nagging emptiness that no transaction can fill. Now, imagine someone who lives with the bare minimum but overflows with meaning in every choice, every gesture, every small moment. Why then do so many of us chase money as if it were the final destination and not just a road leading us to what truly matters? In this video, we're going to question a silent belief that shapes our routines. What if wealth, on its own, was never the true goal of human life? We live in an era where success has been reduced to numbers, bank balances, accumulated assets, visible status. From an early age, we're taught that life is a race, and at the end of that track lies an invisible prize called financial stability, as if it were the pinnacle of existence. Storefronts, ads, self-help gurus, they all point us in the same direction: accumulate, conquer, grow. But does this race even have a finish line? Or are we stuck on an endless treadmill, driven by a silent anxiety of never having enough? The problem isn't money itself, but the role it has come to play in our lives. In today's logic, money has stopped being a means and has become the end. We work not to live well, but to work more and earn more, as if that alone were a good enough reason for our daily sacrifices. Satisfaction has been pushed from the present into a constantly postponed future, a never-ending not yet that never fully arrives. And in this process, time, that non-renewable resource, is traded for promises of comfort. Relationships are neglected, personal interests postponed, mental health compromised, all in the name of a financial ideal that never materializes the way we imagined. What's curious is that the closer we get to that ideal, the further it seems. And that's no coincidence. It's a system carefully designed to keep us wanting, consuming, chasing. The meritocratic narrative reinforces the illusion that if someone isn't rich, it's because they didn't try hard enough. Rarely is it discussed how this blind pursuit of wealth can actually take us further away from a meaningful life. We start measuring our worth by what we have, not by who we are. And the silent question lingering in many people's minds is, am I failing just because I didn't achieve what was financially expected of me? In this scenario, money becomes not just a tool, but a reflection of ego, identity, and belonging. Those who don't have it feel excluded. Those who do live in fear of losing it. And so we go on, prisoners of a logic that promises freedom, but often delivers the opposite. It's at this point of tension that philosophy steps in, not as an escape from reality, but as a lens that helps us see what's really behind this seemingly rational pursuit. For Aristotle, the good life, the one truly worth living, is not found in the accumulation of possessions, but in the fulfillment of the deepest nature of the human being. He did not see money as an evil in itself, but as something that should occupy its proper place in the hierarchy of means. Money is useful, yes, but it does not have ultimate value. It serves to achieve something greater. The problem begins when we forget that something greater and start treating money as if it were the ultimate goal of existence. According to Aristotle, every human being seeks eudaimonia, a state of complete fulfillment where life is lived in accordance with reason and purpose. It is not momentary happiness, nor fleeting pleasure. It is the lasting flourishing of the soul, a sense that we are fulfilling our role in the world. And for him, this state is not achieved through what we have, but through who we become. Virtue, character, practical wisdom. These are the most valuable currencies on the journey of life. If money enters this equation, it does so as a tool, never as the center. For the philosopher, using money wisely means employing it to cultivate virtue, supporting the community, strengthening relationships, allowing time for self-knowledge and contemplation. When money serves a virtuous life, it finds its natural place. But when life is shaped around money, everything becomes distorted. including ourselves. What Aristotle proposes is a reversal of values, to step away from the logic of having and return to the logic of being. And that is deeply subversive in a society that measures nearly everything in numbers. He invites us to ask, what am I truly seeking in my desire for wealth, security, freedom, recognition? And could these desires not be fulfilled through other paths, perhaps less obvious, but more aligned with who we are at our core? This reflection may seem distant from everyday life, but it strikes at the very blind spot of our financial culture. Because if we don't reflect on the purpose behind money, we end up serving it, even unconsciously. And when that happens, we become mere instruments within a system that feeds on our unsatisfied desire. Aristotle would not condemn the market, but he would question how much it truly serves our greater good. In times when performance has become synonymous with personal worth, rediscovering this philosophical perspective is almost an act of resistance. Not because it tells us to abandon the world, but because it forces us to ask, what am I building with my resources? A life of purpose, or just a collection of things? Aristotle challenges us to place being above having. And today, that might just be more revolutionary than ever. You've probably found yourself thinking that if you just had a little more money, you could finally breathe, take some time off, and live more calmly. And maybe, for a brief moment, you can. But soon the standard rises, the demands increase, the next goal appears, and the promise of peace shifts once again to the horizon. This is how many people live, not in actual scarcity, but with a constant sense of insufficiency. Even with financial stability, many feel they're losing something essential. Time that won't return, relationships growing distant, dreams put on hold. Now, think about your ordinary days. Work that consumes nearly the entire week, a phone that buzzes more than your own thoughts, financial decisions that feel automatic. How many of these choices are guided by a sense of purpose? And how many are simply responses to a logic of survival, comparison, and performance? Aristotle's proposal is not a call to radical renunciation, but an invitation to clarity, to live with awareness of what we're exchanging for what we seek. Perhaps true freedom isn't about earning more and more, but about understanding what is truly worth pursuing. Capitalist logic has taught us to value material progress as the measure of success, but philosophy reminds us that not all growth means advancement. Aristotle would not reject money. He would simply pose the essential question: for what purpose? Wealth without direction is like a rudderless boat. It might travel far, but not necessarily to where it's truly worth going. Eudaimonia, the fulfilled life, cannot be bought. It's built through choices aligned with who we are at our core. And perhaps the true luxury of modern life is living with time, presence, and purpose. If this reflection resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel. Here, we keep exploring ideas that connect philosophy, money, and life's deeper meaning, because financial education is, above all, about understanding what truly matters. See you in the next video, and may your next choices be not only profitable, but also virtuous.